All right, all right, all right. We are back. So here's the daily. We're just going to jump right into it again. This is my daily journal, not financial advice. I'm just going over the daily price moves. And here we are. It's August 18th, and this is the daily chart. Let's jump into it. Okay, so apologize for all the lines. Again, the orange lines designate the new day opening gaps and the new week opening gaps. And they're all labeled with the date. I'm working on my chart organization. I'm not the ghost in the machine that could chart naked. Okay. But as you can see, we're still on the uptrend. We're in an interesting area, though. We'll see on the lower time frames that we are starting to violate bullish breakers on the way down here. And the bearish breakers are holding strong. It's a nice step ladder. But that's all on the hourly chart. Here we got the daily chart, okay? And there are some good significant lows right here that can be taken. My interest is to see this guy. This would technically be considered a bullish order block. So if we could get like a 4-hour close past mean threshold, about that price right over there, you see on the left, like 23,700, somewhere in there. I'm not going to measure it, but it's right in that zone. That's something to consider. But also, this guy creates another issue for a bearish scenario. I believe on the daily chart, we might be able to call that a breaker. Okay, so 50% close of this, and then we're looking, all right, is it going to reach 50% of this candle? So in this zone or something, all right? I think I have a nice little fair value gap lined in, like somewhere right in here, that it could go down to. I was actually talking about it a long time ago, or not a long time ago, about a week ago. Yep, there it is, the 1-hour breaker. So this is a good area. If you do catch a short and it's looking powerful, this could be a good take profit. It's a bullish breaker. It's a fair value gap at the bottom of a bullish breaker. So we might see like a wick, an hourly wick, wha-bam, back up eventually. I don't know if it'll happen, but this is an area of interest for me. And that's it on the daily chart. But let's go down to the 4-hour chart and proceed from there. Again, I would like to see a 4-hour close at mean threshold of that order block, and then maybe we could think about going down further, or it might wick all the way down and respect both of them in one hourly move. So there's that. Okay, here's the 4-hour chart. Again, looking bearish. What are we running into here? A bunch of red candles. So this is the first area of interest we see. This right here, this isn't really too big of an issue. It's not really a breaker here, but on the 1-hour chart, actually, where are my purple lines at? Are these charts sinking anymore? Good God. Gosh, geez, oh Pete. Let me see. I hope they are, but it doesn't look like they are. Because we have this, just the new week opening gap. And there's a new day opening gap over the top of that. So we have a little bit of work to do here on this chart. That's okay. No harm, no foul. I'll figure that out. It'd be very nice if these were syncing up. Right click. Is there a settings like sync? I'll figure that out, because I do want this to sync to my other chart. Maybe I should refresh. It should have refreshed. Okay, that's frustrating. But we'll, on the hourly chart, we'll break it down. We'll go through the, so let me see. This is the 10 a.m. August 18th. We got close price August 18th. That's all today. Where is that stuff at? What is going on? Anyways, I think that would be better safer though. But anyways, this candle did close 50% through a bullish 1 hour breaker. Let's just go down to the 1 hour chart. It's kind of a back and forth day, but looks kind of bullish. But what it really did is and let's just go down to the 1 hour. We could see it a lot better. And I am going to be livid if it doesn't have all my stuff on here. Oh my gosh. It should have this too. That looks like what is this? 9 a.m. No, that's not. That's a big jump though. There's that one. There's one right here. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I'll put that on there. These are on my other chart. Let me see if I could jump back and forth. Okay, there's that. Now let's go back to this, and maybe it will take what's on my phone. Reload. There we are. Now we got them all. Okay, looks a little bit busier too, doesn't it? Okay, so these white lines are actually daily highs and lows that form a daily fair value gap. Interestingly enough, that high is right at 50%. Blue lines off of the hourly BISI. But I'm going to draw our attention over here because this is a 1 hour breaker. And you could see this candle right here. That purple line is 50% of this 1 hour. This is the last up close candle in a bullish breaker formation. Okay. Low, higher, high, lower, low. This is a bullish breaker. Low, higher, high, low. And that's a strong formation to pass. And it broke it right here. Okay. All right. I didn't cue in on Sunday to this, but what we got going on right here is a fairly strong structure, right? It completely left this gap, so it's heavy enough not to even reserve that bad boy. Okay, what do we got here? Balanced price range. Okay, and then on top of that, we got a bearish breaker. High, low, higher, high. This fair value gap is my favorite type of entry, right? And it wasn't cued in on it before today. My favorite type of entry. Okay, and then now we're going up, and then we get a balanced price range. So this candle, this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, no sell side delivery, was balanced immediately with this candle, or not immediately, but it was rebalanced in one. Is it foul swoop? I think that's the way you say that. And what did it do this morning? This candle closed right here. This one opened. It wicked down. Okay, and this is actually going to be the. It's actually this one. This one wicked down. Didn't take this low, reserved this fair value gap on the breaker, right? That's again one of my favorite entries. And where did it go to? The next logical spot, right? So again, this one open, traded, this one open. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm screwing it all up. Okay, this is the candle. Didn't take it there, okay? And then we start working up. But this one did it get into that? it didn't get into that fair value gap, actually. Now that I look at it again, this one didn't get into that fair value gap. Okay. But this one did, and then it also traded back up in here. So I think this was the best, I think, long you could have taken, and this was the best short you could have taken. Okay. And we'll break it down in a further time frame. So at the top of this candle, what does it do? This, let's see, right at this one, or no, this candle, and that looks like a huge, okay, not a huge discrepancy, because this one closes up here. This one trades down. It fails to take this low. Okay, almost reserves a fair value gap, not quite, that I was talking about over here. This guy doesn't quite get in there. Okay, and then it closes here. This one trades up. This is kind of, wow. Closes here, and then what does it do? It reserves this fair value gap right up here. Inverse fair value gap in a breaker. Fair value gap on its own has its own strength. Balanced price range, very hard to work through on the upside. So we'll see. We'll have to watch. Does this? We have to see this hourly candle. Like, where's that at? So that's one thing we should check out right now. Does it violate this bullish breaker? It does by a hair. So that's something to consider moving forward. It kind of takes that a little bit. It definitely respects the inverse fair value gap in here and this fair value gap though. Okay. Am I still messing around with that? Cool. Oop. All right. So that's something to consider. This did close above 50% of this breaker leg right here, and it definitely violated the first candle. So that's something to consider. Now that now we got this breaker right here was destroyed or affected by this one. It was closed under 50% mark, which is delineated by this purple line. This candle closed over this breaker. So we're really kind of in no man's land right now, because we got bullish PD arrays being violated and bearish PD arrays being violated. This one has a little bit more to it still. While we have a very balanced price range right here going lower, we have a balanced price range right here to go higher. So we're kind of in a tough spot as far as trying to figure this out. We kind of have to let the market show us what it wants to do. But anyways, once it served this fair value gap, it traded down, took these equal lows that it formed, and then back up to serve this fair value gap again and take the highs later in the day. That was actually the open of Asia. Okay. So that's not really showing us too much. Let's get a little bit lower. Let's go to the 15-minute. Oh, I don't really mess with the 30-minute, but you can if you want. I like to break it down 4 hour, 1 hour. And the 4 hour, the best thing, the thing I like, you want the 4 hour, like, I mean, if you see a 4 hour order block, that's something to take note. But 4 hour breakers or order blocks are something I really like to see, because they form more often on the 4 hour chart than breakers do. And you could get inverse breakers. So if you get inverse order block, you could get an inverse breaker too. But you get an inverse order block, and that kind of is a pretty cool little thing there. 15-minute looks like a freaking mess, right? One thing I do want to note, this new day opening gap that we got covered up. We got the new week opening gap. So from what I hear, this could be a magnet for price, which may cause us to trade up and down in this area for a while. And again, we got this violated a 1 hour breaker. This violated a 1 hour breaker. So we're right in the middle of both of them. Cool. Perfect. So just watch and wait and see what it wants to do. What is it going to do? Let some more 1 hour candles form. Maybe we get some more fair value gaps, stuff like that. That's the best thing about trading in New York, in my opinion, is that the best thing is that it, this even serves it on the 15-minute. Barely, yeah, that's pretty cool. Is that you trade the New York session, and then you have Asia and London to give you all new information about where the market wants to go. So that's why I don't like to trade those two, is because it just really provides us information, or me with information to move forward with New York. And And once you zoom out and then you see, okay, well, this happened while I wasn't here. And now we could see that maybe the market's favoring XYZ. It's a hypothetical situation. Okay, so again, we're not really seeing much here, but what do we got here? This is the 945 candle. Not really showing as much. Let's get into the 5-minute. Again, after is that on the right day now? No. After this hourly close right here, I was really skeptical to take a long because it violated a bullish breaker, man. So I'm like, oh man, that's tough news, right? So, anyways, we get the open, trades down. It doesn't take a hourly low over here. This guy, okay. This showed up on the hour chart, or it's a low. This guy didn't quite take it, okay. So then we see this push up in the market, and it serves, like we had mentioned before, that strong bearish structure. You could go back. It's an hourly breaker, an hourly fair value gap on the downside, SIBI. And there's that breaker fair value gap, the inverse, which got inversed. That's the kind of characteristic of a breaker, a fair value gap inside of a breaker, is it gets inversed. The breaker is made, and then now that's a strong, like, little couplet you got there. Okay. And anyways, this one serves it. This is the best entry right there. As soon as it takes that last high, the rest of the other highs are over here. On top of that, we're in the lower half of a daily BISI, inverse BISI now. So that's another thing to think about. We inverse the daily BISI that's violating bullish PD rays. And I already showed you the two PD rays we're kind of looking at moving forward. Okay, on the daily chart, we're looking at those two daily candles that could prevent movement down. All right, and we kind of talked about what I would like to see on those before, being too convinced it's going either way. If I do catch a short, you see some market structure or whatever, those take profit levels should be maybe at 50% of those, because we don't know. It could ping off of 50%. That daily candle could hold its integrity for the bullish story, and you could take off to the upside right at 50%. All right, so that's something to think about. And then it trades down, takes these equal lows. So that would have been the best you would have gotten out right there. That would have been like maybe the best trade, the only trade. This one was skeptical because it broke that 1 hour breaker. And if you got in on this long, I mean, good for you. But it was a rather back and forth day. Like a really tight range too. It wasn't like too exciting. I think there's some news coming out tomorrow on PP something. CP, I think CPI was last week, but PPI, I don't know. One of them. So here's a 5-minute. Again, this kind of took off, so I feel like you could have set an entry right here. Best entry maybe would have been on the hourly chart. You could have said, hey, it's not going to, you could put it at 75 or 3 quadrants up of that SIBI. Say, hey, it might come up, but it's not going to touch 50% of this SIBI. And if it does, hopefully it rejects off that, and you got your stop at 75% of that SIBI. That's a thing. You could do that. I believe ICG has said that. Again, if you want the story from him, you go to his stuff because he has everything under the sun and more. And I'm just, practicing his stuff by going through my daily journal like this. So if you want it from the horse's mouth, go to the Inner Circle Traders YouTube. He's the GOAT. Or he doesn't like to even be called that, but he's got a lot of information there for you. Okay? And then that's where we take those equal lows. Okay? Let's go to the 1 minute. Again, like first presented fair value gap was like, let's go to the 1 minute. Oh, we are on the 1 minute. Shoot. So if you're on the 1 minute, like how are you going to catch this entry? All right, that's a higher time frame entry in my opinion, because there's no catching it. All right, maybe if you had a 15-second chart, which I don't, you could have seen respect of an order block. If anything, right here after this candle closes at 50%, okay, you're already expecting bearish move because of that strong structure. We'll do a little order block study on that, because I mean, we're not going to go too far into a lot of this junk over here, so we might as well do that. Let's blow this up. Again, this is entered, took the last stop available inside of that SIBI. Okay, now, and it's entered into a interesting higher time frame zone where we would expect to see rejection. Okay, so that's the story. Let's get a little square. Is a square on this one? No. Is it this one? Sheesh, come on, rectangle, yeah. So we're gonna highlight this little order block. So it's entered. Okay, that's the okay. So that now we got a potential spot to entry, and then you have to have a keen eye for this, my boy, my brothers and sisters. Okay. So this order block right here, we could say, okay, it kind of wicked in a little bit, and not only we're getting respect from the wick here, it makes the order block potentially right here with this candle. That's what it does. Okay. Now let's see what this next candle does. It wicks up, rejects, and it closes below 50%. So you could have, right after you seen that close, you could have entered with your stop up here even to be a sniper, or 50% up that BISI. We're expecting downward movement right there. It took the last stop. There's you couldn't even have got in on that fair value gap. Hard news, right? That would have been a very hard one to catch. Let's see. Then let me see right at 10. What's cooking right at 10? Like we're supposed to wait, right? Right at 10. Let's see if we get anything exciting. Well, this could have taken you up there. Okay. So we're waiting the first hour, 30 minutes, right? And that's what we're supposed to do. We get this. You like to see closes over inversion fair value gaps. Here's a good entry right here. We got a little 1 minute breaker formation. Okay, boom. It comes back and it touches into it and it rejects. Okay, the last up close candle would be what you'd use. Does it serve this inversion fair value gap? No, it doesn't. So you'd have had to use that breaker to get in right here. And then the next logical spot would have been the last stop inside of that BISI, which there was quite a bit of stops in here. There were some. See that? See that? That's still lower. That's still lower. So this guy, you would have had gotten out at that high, or you would have had a lot of profit taken back right away. Okay, so actually that's a decent little entry right there on the bullish story. And it even respected this, the time. Let me see, it closed right over. Okay, so this is a good entry too. Okay, as you could see that this is the 50% of the 1 hour bullish in bullish breaker. Okay, and it comes in and touches 50% and leaves. So if you said, okay, 9:59, it closed above the breaker again, it's going to respect it. Get in on this. That would have been a stellar entry. If not, you get this breaker reserved, this breaker candle reserved right here, and you could have taken it up to that area I just discussed. And then you see this. Okay, it took the last stop. I like to try and find. I challenge myself to try to find. This is a sticky situation. You don't in the right situations. Like you don't want to do this at the top of a market, most likely, because there'll be a lot of similar things like this from my experience. But as we're entering with the context provided, it's entering a higher time frame area that we expect rejection. It just took the last stop that we would see for a ways, so this would be maybe something you could take a chance on. But and then if you want to see, okay, if it should respect this high if this is the breaker, right? And so you could have tried an ultra tight stop right there, taken the ride down to catch those equal lows again. And then it kind of, after you could have, I'm not really, and then it does respect that 50% of that breaker again. As it closes pretty high up there. And then Now we're into lunch. We stay out of lunch. 11:30 to 1:30. So, yeah, I mean, this is boom, boom, right? It takes these guys, it takes the low, takes that high. And then now we got these guys to work with. It takes the high, it takes the low. Are there order blocks in these situations? Yes. Are they served up all the time? No. This one wasn't served up. This one got wicked into just a little bit. But that's a tiny range. And you got to think about, is the R to R worth it? Is it the right time? No. So I like to stay out of that lunch hour. Unless you get a liquidity sweep and you're thinking, or you could, take the scalp because you figure lunch run stops. So take the scalp down, take the scalp either way, the opposite way it's going for a recent high or low. This rejects off that's actually the first presented fair value gap of the day, I believe. In that little formation. It's a pretty busy formation there. It's a lot of stuff. You could have potentially got in on I don't know. Like I said, I think, this was a good one. And boom, runs through it there. But usually whenever it goes back and forth over the fair value gap like this, it's a good indication that it's going to be a range day, in my opinion. Let's go out to 130. Let's see the rejects off of this, takes that recent low. I mean, you would have to have anticipated a rejection off of this. Don't like to do that. Why isn't it taking these? You know what I mean? This is inside of a range. No real allure to get into a trade there. Boom. Again, on the hourly, this hourly close right here is a little disturbing because then now it opens up us to a bullish situation because it closed over 50% of a 1 hour breaker. So that leaves us open for a bullish situation again, wide open. And now because of that other close below 50% of the bullish breaker, this violated a bearish breaker, the other one violated a bullish breaker. Now we're thinking, we don't know what to think. We got the new day opening gap there. Opened, closed, traded down, open or closed right there. So that's our deal right there. We got a new week opening gap, first presented fair value gap of the week in there. So there's some stuff in there that's worth looking at. And now we're just kind of meandering down. But there's no it's going to be a hard bet tomorrow. There is news. So maybe we get a zigzag and it clears the board on both sides and we're still in no man's land. At least that's my opinion. I am enjoying speaking into the void. So shout out to my one follower now. It's my buddy actually. So that's all I got. All right. Big whale. Out.